Okay, so we're going to talk about not overcomplicating your business. That is such a huge thing, and why so many people quit direct sales in general, quit unique, anything like that is, or having a business of their own, is people quit too early. People quit before they start. Like seriously, more people quit before they start than like quit after after they actually start getting going. Although people quit at any different stage for different reasons, but you have to really just keep it simple in your mind. Don't overthink or overcomplicate anything. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people just think they have to have the perfect lighting or the perfect holder for their camera, the perfect backdrop, or the perfect camera, phone or whatever, or lighting, just everything. Have the perfect wording when they're messaging people. Have the perfect, a really perfect app doing makeup. Okay, like I had none of those things. I didn't have a backdrop until probably 11 or 12 months into my business. I did not have a backdrop. I just had whatever was in my bedroom behind me. I never, probably was 7 or 8 months in my business before I actually had a holder to hold my phone and didn't just prop it against the wall. Like you don't need anything special to succeed. You don't need anything special to even make it all the way to the top of the company. You just have to be willing to do all the things. Okay. So don't think like a lot of people, especially it's this fear. This is fear of stopping anybody from doing anything. They think if they can get everything perfect, it'll stop that fear. You're still going to be afraid when you're starting to do something. When you're starting doing something new, doing videos, doing anything, messaging people and getting out of your comfort zone is scary. It is for every single person, but it's if you're letting that fear overtake you, or if you're just letting that fear just push into the side and actually just doing the things. And then the fear. So there's a saying, I didn't write this down, I should have written this down, it's just thought about it. But everything that's now easy was once hard, something along those lines, which is so true. Like every single thing you've ever done was fearful at one point, but you overcame that fear and you did it. So fear is what stops people from even starting the business. So you hit join, and that was already, a lot of people, you're already giving over one fear by hitting join on the website. But by just hitting join, you still have to do so much. Everybody thinks that's going to be able to get them over their fear, but it's not easy. It's just doing videos or anything, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. As soon as you start doing it, seriously, gets so much easier. It gets so much easier. But they think if they had the perfect lighting system or the perfect setup, or they become perfect at applying makeup, they think that it's going to make some things easier. It's still going to be the same hardness. But if you start doing your videos like me, I started doing my videos and I did not do eyeshadow when I first started. You don't have to do eyeshadow looks. If you're not comfortable doing that, don't do that. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to get out of your comfort zone, but if you aren't the type of person that wears eyeshadow, don't use it right now. Everybody knew me when I first joined. I wore barely any makeup, okay? I wore powder foundation, lashes, sometimes black eyeliner. Literally, mascara and foundation was the only thing I sold for 7 months, okay? That's what my family knew me as. I was slowly starting to get into eyeshadow. I'd post random looks of the day. It was many months before I even did a video on my eyeshadow look, but randomly, I think I did one purple look 5 months in and posted just as a selfie of the day, and slowly started getting used to it. But everybody knowing me not wearing eyeshadow, if I would have came in day one and all of a sudden started wearing a ton of makeup, it probably would have looked super weird. Not gonna lie, people wouldn't have trusted me the same. They trust that the things that I love and the things that I like to use, that's all I'm sharing. I'm not changing who I am. Now, over time, I became more comfortable with makeup. I enjoyed it, and they saw that transformation in me. People that even didn't know me saw that transformation in me. My husband, my mom, my family, anybody saw the transformation in my confidence, the way that makeup has done this for me. And that's the same thing for you. So if you start your video super uncomfortable, it's okay, because people will enjoy to see that transformation, and that makes you relatable. That relatable means more people are going to want to join you. Being relatable means people are going to find that you're trusting, if that makes sense. But if you your videos maybe aren't perfect to start with, that's not a bad thing, because people are going to see that, and if they start seeing your confidence and or your videos or anything like that start to get better, they're going to see that and be like, well, if she can do it, and now look at her now, I can do it too. So they start feeling more confident that they can do that too, in that they would want to do it with you, because they've seen your growth and they want to be part of that. They want to be part of that excitement. Now, if you are great at makeup, show everybody how to do it. Show them all your tips and tricks. That's even going to be better, okay? If you're great at makeup and you're doing this, people are going to be like, oh my God, she's great at makeup. Now she's going to teach me some stuff. That's so awesome. Okay, I kind of totally got a little bit sidetracked of what I was saying, but it's still the same concept of you're just scared. That's a little bit off. Let me get back on my notes. But yeah, fear gets in your way so often. I get people messaging me too all the time, like about like your website name or your business page name or a logo you want for yourself, or like thinking about all this before you do your first video. You don't think about, to make sure your guys' mics are muted too. You don't have to, you don't have to think of like the best, like I changed, like mine's Kayla's Beauty Talk right now. I changed that like a year and 3 months, maybe a little over a year into my business. Like that's when I started changing my brand, and I had that idea and I changed my business name and everything like that. Like you don't have to think about that all day one, especially don't think about that before you start doing your videos. Just go in and do your videos. You don't need a domain name right away. You don't need a business page right away. You don't need to have a specific name. You just need to do the videos. You just need to do the things. You just have to get on camera, go in front of natural lighting or whatever you have. If you have to do it in your bathroom, just go purchase like, I don't know, maybe it's like $9, $10 for an LED daylight light bulb. Do that. You do not need a special ring light. If you have an LED daylight light bulb, that is good enough. That is close enough. But if you are able to do it during the day in natural lighting, that's the best. And that's free. That's all I did for many months. It was free lighting. Okay. So do that. And if you are saying you don't have time or anything, do pre-recorded videos, many in one day. Just keep changing your shirt, do many in one day and post them throughout the week. I worked a full-time job for my first 7 months, and that's what I did. I did 5, 6, 7 videos on my one day off. Sometimes I'd have 2 days off, but lots of weeks I'd only have 1 day off, and I would post them throughout the week. Okay. Like nothing crazy. I'm just being consistent. That's what's awesome about parties too. Parties, you already have your script for. You don't need anything more. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so a little quote. I don't know if Sherry got it from anybody, but I know, but Sherry talks about this all the time. Sherry Brown. Imperfectly done is better than perfectly undone. Okay, that is like such a huge saying to me. Is it doesn't matter if it's perfect, if it's even remotely good. If you're doing anything, it's better than waiting to do something just so it's going to be perfect, even though nothing perfect doesn't exist. Okay, perfect doesn't exist, and perfect's not relatable. People need to relate to you, to buy from you, to join you. I mean, not everybody, but people like to, like find a common thing. And when you're something trying to be so perfect on camera, it's going to be hard to try to keep up with that perfection, and B, like people aren't going to relate to that perfect. People, if you mess up, if you get something, mascara all over your brow, if you get, drop stuff, if your kids are screaming in the background, people understand that. They understand it's real life. Okay. I think that's most of that. But yes, this is seriously like most of that part. This is very simple, the concept of what you have to do in this business. Book, sell, sponsor, build relationships, okay? It's very simple steps, not easy, because not everybody's going to take the time to do it, because it is time consuming, and time consuming doesn't have to mean in your entire day. It can mean that you stay up an extra hour late at night, you work, on your lunch break, and you get up an extra half hour early. You work just a couple hours, you work it in when you can, you answer message when you can. That's what's awesome about, like I've talked about, having like hundreds lists and having a contact list and having people to message. Also, like having a task list, like something that you have to do that day will give you something to check off. So when you have 5-10 minutes, whatever you have during the day, and you just find that you have this extra time, you have a list of people that you can contact, start messaging those people instead of trying to think off the top of your head. You already have them written down. You already have this stuff. It's very just start doing your videos. Just like literally just come in and just start doing your videos. Okay. Start it simple. Start just doing the things. Okay. And then work on booking your parties. Okay. And then when you book your parties, you're eventually going to get sales. Sales don't always come immediately from parties, but you're building new relationships with new people. You're adding new people on Facebook. Then people are going to eventually buy. When they buy, you're going to follow up and they're going to eventually join. Sometimes you're adding people on Facebook and you're messaging them about the opportunity. I mean, doesn't all go in that order always, but if you are constantly finding new people, booking new parties, building new relationships, you're going to get sales, you're going to get people joining. It's literally inevitable as long as you're doing things long enough and enough of them. If you're not getting the results you want, do more of the things, okay? If you're only running 1 to 2 parties a week and you're not getting the results from that, run 5 to 10, a week. Like seriously, just up the game of how much you're doing, how much actions you're doing. Start posting multiple videos a day if you can. If you're able to do a live and then do like a small one, or just do like just a brow one if you want to teach any tips and tricks. Do a skincare one at night too. Do as much as you're physically able to, obviously. But this can be done from anywhere. Just like if you just get out of your own way and just start doing the things, like you can be super, super successful. Just right there. But the thing that I want to say too, and this will stop your fear, is having a why. And really, you got to think deep about this, and your why will change with time. Why means, why are you doing this? Okay, are you doing this for your kids? Are you doing this to quit your job? Are you doing this just to make some extra money? Like, you know, so you can maybe have 2 jobs and quit one of them. Maybe you just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you're pregnant and want to not be able to have to go back to work after you have your kid. Maybe you have a lot of debt that you want to start paying off. Like, maybe you want to give your kids extra vacation. Whatever it is, like, make sure it's big enough. Make sure it's not just make some extra money. Like, you're just something like casual. Like, you want that why to drive you to do this, to drive you to do the things. Then it's going to kick your fear away. Okay. Like, if you are actually knowing why you're doing this and not just like repeating the same steps every day aimlessly and not realizing, why am I doing this? Like, why do I keep doing the same things? Think about that. And especially if it's something like your kids or something like that, like, that's a huge why. You should be willing to get out of any type of comfort zone to do that. Be able to message people and not be afraid when people say no, because no, it really doesn't matter. Go do some personal development, find some books. There's there's so many different books. If you like, I love Law of Attraction. Like, that's like seriously one of my favorites. It's not really necessarily a network marketing book. It is, but it's not. But it's going to teach you kind of more about mindset. That's like seriously such a huge part, because if you're kind of having doubts in your mind that you can succeed, if you're having doubts in your mind when you're messaging somebody and you want them to join your team and you're having doubts, like, that girl doesn't want to join me. She, you know, she's way too good at makeup and I'm not, and I don't feel comfortable, or, you know, and you're messaging her, that like vibe is literally going to come across. Like, even if it's totally not purposeful, that vibe is coming across. Like, so I love that book for that. GoPro is a great start if you ever read that too. There's a book, 100 No's or something. What is it called? Go for No. Go for No is what it's called. And it talks about if you went out today and tried to get 100 people to say no to you, say no about the opportunity, say no about what are they called? Parties, say no about something. If you went out of your way to get 100 no's, and I don't mean messaging like in a rude way to try to get a no, but if you message 100 people and you're gonna message over 100 people and get 100 no's, imagine how many yeses you would get. If you get 100 no's, imagine how many yeses, because you're gonna have to message more than 100 people. Like, is what that means. Like, you should get 100 no's. And if you're shooting for 100 no's, then you're gonna feel good about getting those no's. You're not gonna care about getting those no's, and you're gonna see those yeses. Okay. And also, if you're messaging people, yes, we want the least salesy. We don't want something word vomity when you're messaging people. Yes, we want the best wording, but honestly, if you're talking to somebody and if they, what was I gonna say? If they're the right person, you can't say the wrong thing. There we go. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Okay. If they are meant to join your team, if they are meant to, you know, be a customer, whatever it is, especially if they're meant to be on your team, it will happen. That's just how it works. It will happen. It doesn't matter what you say to them. Doesn't mean they're going to join right instantly or anything like that. But it doesn't matter, honestly, what you say to them. So don't worry about that. Obviously, we want to try to help. I want to try to help you. Your sponsor wants to try to help you with the proper wording, you know, with something that's not going to word vomiting. That's worse than anything. It's when you just send people paragraphs of stuff, especially if it's a repeated message you're sending to everybody. You know, you want to keep it short and sweet, and you want to keep it very personal. But honestly, it really doesn't matter. Don't think about trying to say the perfect thing. Voice message people if you can, because then they can hear your genuineness. They can hear that you're messaging them. You're not forwarding the same message to every single person. You're saying their name in that message, and no matter what you say in that, they're going to know you meant to talk to them, that you took that time to send that voice message. You weren't just mass messaging people, and they'll like you too. So definitely, if you're not comfortable with messaging people, voice message. Like, if you like don't know the right wording, it can't be wrong when you're talking to somebody out loud. But I want you to succeed. I want this. Every single person is capable of doing this, is capable of success, but not everybody will do it. Not everybody will take the time to grow a business. What's nice about this business is you only spent $99 for this, and you got a lot of makeup for that. So really, you didn't spend any money. You really just got a business and a lot of makeup for only $99. Like, you got a deal and an opportunity of a lifetime. Like, it's crazy. And any other business you're going to start into debt. You know, you're going to start, you know, any home business, anything like that. Like, you know, you own a clothing store down your street, a coffee shop, whatever it is. You're going to have all this debt. You're going to have to put even more time in that business. So think that you can run an entire business. You have to be willing to give it a year, give it a couple of years, not to make any money, any success, but you really have to think long-term. If you think long-term and don't just think next week, next month, even next year, like seriously, you have to think long-term if you want good residual income. But I'm going to stop the recording now.